today I invite you to join me on a journey where I'll transform this serene landscape into a cinematic masterpiece. Let's make this park timeless, captured forever in the beauty of film. Come with me. Hello everyone. Today we journey together into the heart of nature, embracing the calm, the beauty, and the quiet wisdom that this autumn season brings here in Ontario, Canada. As we move along the highway and transition towards Erindale Park, we witness the world shifting around us. The trees stand proudly in their seasonal transformation, their leaves turning shades of warm gold, deep amber, and fiery red. Ahead, the river welcomes us with its gentle current, flowing in harmony with the rustling leaves. Its surface mirrors the golden canopy above, creating a perfect blend of motion and stillness, a reminder of how nature speaks, even in silence. Today, we're not just observing the scenery, we're allowing ourselves to feel it, to learn from it, and to reflect on the wisdom it quietly offers. As we continue our drive, the highway becomes more than just a road. It transforms into a moving gateway between the rush of everyday life and the peaceful embrace of nature. The 427 leads us forward, the 401 stretches wide beneath the open sky, and the 403 gently guides us towards Mississauga. With every kilometer, the landscape slowly shifts, reminding us that change is not only natural but necessary. Around us, the autumn colors deepen. Trees lining the edges of the highway stand like silent storytellers, each branch holding a memory of summer and a promise for winter. The winds carry fallen leaves across our path, dancing freely as if celebrating the beauty of letting go. And as we make our approach to Erindale Parkway, we begin to sense the presence of Erindale Park ahead, a place where nature's reflection and wisdom meet. This journey isn't just about arriving at a destination, it's about allowing the moments in between to speak to us, to slow us down, to remind us of what truly matters. As we exit toward Erindale Parkway, the pace of the road begins to soften, and the city opens its arms to welcome us into different kind of silence, the kind that only nature can create. The noise of the highway fades behind us, replaced by the crisp autumn air and the gentle rustle of leaves drifting across the ground. Erindale Park comes into view like a sanctuary. Stitches of golden foliage frame the road, and the canopy above seems to glow in the soft afternoon light. Every curve we take draws us deeper into a scene painted by the season itself, rich, warm, and full of quiet wisdom. Here, The credit river winds patiently through the heart of the park. Its surface glimmers with reflection of the trees standing guard along its banks, as if nature is offering us a moment to pause, to breathe, to simply be present. The stillness invites us to slow down, to listen to the stories that the land has been holding for generations. This is where our journey shifts from motion to meaning. We've traveled through the rush of the highways, but now in the calm of Erindale Park, we begin to uncover the deeper value of wisdom hidden within the rhythm of autumn. Hello everyone, as you can see, I'm standing here in the beautiful Erindale Park right in the heart of Mississauga. Today I invite you to join me on a journey where I'll transform this serene landscape into a cinematic masterpiece. Let's make this park timeless, captured forever in the beauty of film. Come with me. In this video, I want to reflect on one of the most essential values in our lives, wisdom, the very foundation on our humanity. Thousands of years ago, wisdom was considered the most valuable asset a person could possess. It wasn't just knowledge, it was the guiding force behind leadership, survival, and decision-making. Take the story of King Solomon. When he was anointed king of Israel at a young age, he had no experience, no leadership background, no military training. He felt overwhelmed, but one night God appeared to him in a dream and said, "Ask for anything and I will give it to you." Solomon didn't ask for wealth or power. Instead, he asked, "Lord, give me wisdom so that I may govern your people with justice and understanding." God was pleased with his request, and because of Solomon's humility and righteousness, God granted him not only wisdom, but also power, immense wealth, and honor. He became the wisest and richest man on earth, so much so that his legacy still echoes today. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1 to 15. There are two types of wisdom we can acquire. Divine wisdom, a gift from above like Solomon's. Natural wisdom, gained through learning, experience, science, education, and reflection. Both forms help humanity evolve. They guide us in distinguishing right from wrong, in understanding the unknown, and in making decisions that benefit not only ourselves, but society as a whole. We also see God's wisdom in the story of Jonah. God called him to go to the great city of Nineveh to deliver a message to people who, in God's words, could not tell their right hand from their left. This meant they lacked direction, understanding, even basic knowledge. Jonah was angry and reluctant, but God questioned him. "Do you have any right to be angry?" Jonah chapter 4, verse 1 to 11. In this story, we see that divine wisdom isn't just for the powerful. It's meant to uplift, to teach, and to transform even those who are lost. Wisdom in all its forms has always existed alongside humanity. It helps us make the right decisions before challenges arise. It empowers us to act with integrity, insight, and compassion for the good of others and the universe itself. In the stillness of this autumn landscape, we turn to a story rooted in faith, resilience, and divine wisdom, the story of Joseph and the Pharaoh of Egypt. Long before he stood in the courts of kings, Joseph was a young man betrayed by his own brothers and sold into slavery. Yet even in his suffering, God, the merciful creator of heaven and earth, was guiding his steps. Through divine power and grace, Joseph was given a rare gift, the ability to interpret dreams, a wisdom far beyond human understanding. One day, this gift would summon him before the most powerful ruler of the ancient world, the Pharaoh of Egypt. Troubled by visions he could not understand, the Pharaoh sought answers. His trusted officials, unable to interpret the dreams, remembered Joseph and spoke of his God-given insight. And so Joseph, a humble Hebrew slave, was brought before the throne. Pharaoh shared his dreams. 7 healthy, well-fed cows emerging from the Nile, followed by 17 ugly cows that devoured them. 7 full heads of grain, rich and good, consumed by 17 unscorched heads blown by the east wind. With calm conviction, Joseph revealed the meaning that God had placed in his heart. The dreams were one and the same. Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Joseph did not stop at interpretation. He offered a plan, a wise and strategic way to prepare for what was to come. Impressed and deeply convinced by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh recognized the divine guidance within him. He appointed Joseph as governor over all Egypt, placing in his hands the responsibility of leading the nation through both prosperity and hardship. Through Joseph, we see how wisdom, when guided by faith, humility, and purpose, can transform suffering into strength and trials into triumph. Genesis chapter 41, verse 1 to 57. As we walk deeper into Erindale Park, surrounded by the golden tapestry of autumn, Joseph's story begins to speak to us through the landscape itself. The rustling leaves, the shifting colors, the quiet rhythm of the river. Each of these elements mirrors the lesson found in Joseph's journey. Just as the seasons change with purpose, Joseph's life changed under the guidance of divine wisdom. From betrayal to slavery, from prison to Pharaoh's palace, every chapter was like the cycle of the trees around us. Times of flourishing, times of shedding, times of waiting, and times of renewal. Autumn, with its fading grains and emerging golds, reminds us that every season carries meaning. Nothing in nature happens without intention. Likewise, nothing in Joseph's life was wasted. What seemed like loss became preparation. What looked like suffering became strength. And what appeared to be the end became the beginning of a greater calling. Standing here in the calm of the park, we are invited to reflect. What wisdom is God revealing to us in our own seasons of change? The falling leaves remind us that letting go can be an act of faith. The crisp air whispers that clarity often arrives after we release what no longer serves us. And the steady river teaches us that even when life bends and turns, God's presence flows unbroken. Joseph's story is more than history. It is a reminder that divine wisdom can elevate us from the lowest valleys to the highest purposes. Autumn shows us the same truth in color. Beauty emerges when we trust the process. As our steps lead us towards the quieter paths of Erindale Park, we find ourselves surrounded by the gentle whisper of leaves falling on the earth. Each leaf, once vibrant and full of life, now returns to the ground gracefully, reminding us that wisdom often comes through surrender, patience, and trust. Just as Joseph embraced the seasons of his life, we too are called to recognize the purpose hidden within our own experiences. The beauty of autumn teaches us that transformation is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it happens quietly, one moment at a time, just like these leaves drifting to the forest floor. In the stillness of this place, we begin to understand a deeper truth. Wisdom is not only found in great revelations, but in the simple awareness of God's presence in every season we walk through. The river flowing beside us reflects this truth, steady, unhurried, and unwavering. It carries the memory of the past rains and the promise of what is yet to come, just as God carries us through the highs and lows of our own journeys. Autumn's golden glow reminds us that even in times of change, God's hand is at work, shaping us, refining us, and preparing us for what lies ahead. Joseph's rise from captivity to leadership was not an accident. It was evidence of what happens when faith meets divine purpose. Here, in this peaceful moment, we are invited to open our hearts and ask, what is God teaching us right now? What wisdom is waiting to be embraced? What season are we being prepared for next? As the sun filters through the branches and the colors deepen around us, let us carry with us the assurance that God's wisdom is never out of reach. It reveals itself in Scripture, in nature, in silence, and every season we are blessed to live through. As we come to the end of our walk through Erindale Park, the colors of autumn continue to surround us like a living canvas painted by the hand of our Creator. The gentle breeze carries the scent of fallen leaves, and the soft glow of the sun rests upon the trail, reminding us that God's presence is woven into every details of our lives. Joseph's story teaches us that wisdom is not born from comfort, but from faithfulness. It grows in the seasons of waiting, in the moments of struggle, and in the quiet times when we choose to trust God even when we cannot yet see the purpose. His journey from rejection to authority was shaped by divine guidance, just as the seasons are shaped by God's perfect timing. Here, in this calm autumn scene, we are reminded that our own paths are also guided. Every step, every challenge, every blessing, all of it is part of the story God is writing in us. The falling leaves whisper that it's okay to release what burdens us. The golden light reminds us that beauty remains even when things are changing. And the steady flow of the river tells us that God never stops moving in our lives. So as we live this quiet sanctuary of nature, let us carry with us the wisdom of the season. Trust God in the waiting. Seek Him in the silence. Walk with Him in every season. For the same God who lifted Joseph from darkness into destiny is the same God who walks with us today, guiding, shaping, and preparing us for what He has planned. As autumn gently passes, may our hearts be open to receive the wisdom that God is unfolding in our lives, and may we walk forward with faith, knowing that His timing is always perfect. Now that the filming is complete in this stunning park, it's time to unveil its immortal beauty through the lens of cinema. Let's take a moment to appreciate the timeless essence of Erindale Park. I hope you enjoyed this cinematic journey and reflection on the value of wisdom. If this video inspired you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and continue supporting the content I create. Your support helps me keep producing meaningful and uplifting videos in our community. Thank you for watching.